Hello everyone. So today we are going to see how to run App Events API from Swagger UI. So first we will log in into the Swagger UI. Then we will scroll down and under the section of catalog we will find /2/catalog /data /app events, which is the API which we are looking here. So this is the API which is used to see different events for the application. So if you open this AI and try out the API. Here are some of the parameters which needs to be filled in order to get the desired response. So first is the ascending, which is like the sorting order. We'll keep it as default by false. In change type, there are four different types of parameters. They are like source, inference annotations, resource, and collaboration. So we will get back to this parameter again after discussing the others. Then the class type is to filter the events by the class types. Then the job ID will be the job ID of the scanner job to which we have to add the filter. Then we will give the object ID or object name. The offset will be default. The page size will set as at 20 itself. We can change it as per our requirement. Then the main parameter here is resource name. So there are two types of running this API. One is with resource name and one is without resource name. So we will specify the resource name over here. Then the response time has different response type. One is simple, detailed, and export. Then the since is the time parameter in which we can give the time in epoch format, which you can convert it using the epochtimeconverter.com. So in this, we will give the time in epoch in milliseconds or anything in seconds also. Then sort by is like sort by the column name. So we can provide the column name over here. Until will be the end point where till which the time will be set. So if we set it by default like a null or like nothing is set over here, it will consider the current time. So these are the parameters which we need to set. So we can try different types of execution. So here in the change type, I will give first change type as source, and we will run it without any resource name or any sense parameter until. So this will fetch the all the app event from the initial point of time. So, and one thing to note is response content type. It is set to application.xl. To get the desired response, we have to set to application/JSON. So once it is set, we click on execute. And as you can see, all the total count is 60,518. It will have all the different types of changes which has been made from the last scanner job. So here are the things. So as you can see, different types are there. So we have selected source. So will give for the source only. So now if I try to give resource name as sample redshift resource, which is the existing resource in the EDC, and when we try to click on execute and see, uh, before that it used to have around 60,000, now it's 23. So around for the redshift around 23,000 changes have been made, which will be the source changes. So for example, as you can see over here, the previous value was null, but the current value is set to date time to 1100, which will be the date format. And this was the profiling job which was run in the LDM admin. So this is how we can see what are the different types of app events just done. Here you can see the profiling for the null count, for the non-unique count, for null percentage. So there will be different types of, um, so here you can see the patternings there. So there are different types of source changes which can be captured over here. One thing to note is this particular API only works when applied. There is one options which needs to be selected. So I can just go through the resource and show you which type of option needs to be enabled. So this is the resource which I am referring to. So this is sample Redshift resource where I have already configured all the connection properties, the metadata load settings, the profiling, different parameters have been set already. And if you see the monitoring tab, all these scans were successfully done. Publishing of the assets and data discovery job has been run over here. So now if I click on edit and go under the metadata load settings, there will be one option like track data source changes. So once this is enabled, then only the app events API will be tracking those changes, or else it won't be getting the input. So we have, in order to get the API response, we have to enable this type of parameter. And this is the KB article which you can refer to for this uh, app events API. So all the different questions have been answered over here, like what is the app events, what does it do, and what information can we get through app events. So for example, we can get metadata changes, we can get enrichment changes. If we do any comments or like question and answers on the EDC catalog side, we can get those changes, get count of number of changes for tables, views, and so on at the resource level. So this is on the third part, it's like shown like how to execute this API. And for the change type, these are the four change type which you can enter. The source will track the metadata changes, the inference annotations for enrichment changes, collaboration for changes like comments and QA, resource to get the number of changes at table views and on the resource level. So this is what we can give for the change type parameter. And as you can see, change type is a mandatory parameter. So if you don't provide, you will get an 500 undocumented error over here. And also based on whatever parameters you give, you will get a performance or like a slowness of issue. So you can just filter it out to get a faster response. Also, you can see the along with the change type parameters, you can add the resource name since parameter, which is the time, and until, which is the time parameter. And for the time parameter, you can use this URL to convert the human readable date to epoch time. And once you set all these parameters, you can execute the results. So for references, you can use these two articles. One is like the same article, which is having the information on app events API, and the second is to how to get the change summary information via REST API. We would love to hear from you. You can reach us at supportvideos@infonta.com, and also our Twitter handle, which is infasupport. Thank you.